All right, so we're back with another video here, and this is going to be an interesting one because we're going to be building a little image classifier using TensorFlowJs. So this is by no means going to be an in-depth introduction into machine learning. We're not going to be building self-driving cars or anything here, so don't get too excited, but we are going to try to classify some images using some technologies that will make this easier for us. And that is primarily TensorFlowJs. So we're going to try to implement this without getting too deep into the details, because frankly, I'm not overly qualified to be giving a machine learning course. So we're just going to try to show you how to do, how to build something using TensorFlowJs. So let's get started with it. All I have here is two files. I got an index.html and I have an index.js file, and that is all you're going to need for this. Now we're going to be going over a tutorial from the TensorFlowJs docs, and we'll just kind of build it out together here. So I'm going to get rid of this to give us a little more room, and we're going to add a few things here to our index.html. And the first things we're going to have is just add some CDNs. That's going to be the TensorFlowJs CDNs. So we're going to come in here. We're going to go in our head here and give ourselves a little room. And I'm just going to paste this in here. You can copy this down, but I'll have a link both to the code for the repo and then also to the TensorFlowJS docs where you can find this stuff here. And then what else? We're gonna also have, so let's go into our body here, and we are just going to create a div with an ID of console. And then what else are we gonna have? So for this tutorial, we are gonna be using our webcam to classify certain images, and we're just gonna we're gonna try to build a model that classifies images either into a dog, a cat, or a snake category. So we're going to have to train our model, and then hopefully, we'll see how this goes, but hopefully our webcam is able to classify and identify pictures of a dog, a cat, or a snake. So we shall see. So in order to do that, we're going to come into here, and we want to go right underneath our console here. And we're just going to have a video tag. And that is going to say what? That will have an autoplay. Then come down below that, give ourselves a little bit of room here. And it's going to have a plays inline. It's going to have muted. It's going to have an ID of what webcam, an ID equal to webcam. There we go. And what else? We're going to have a width. Let's say we'll go width equal to 400, I think. Should be good. And then we'll have a height here, and that is equal to 400 as well. Okay, so that's going to be our video player. So give ourselves a little more room here. Let's come up a bit. And the other thing we're going to want is a few buttons that are going to allow us to classify our three different animals. So let's come here, and the first button is we're going to have a button, and that's going to have an ID of what, dog. So do that, and then we'll say add dog here. So when we add the dog, we press this button and show a picture of a dog. It will train our model to do that. Then we're gonna have two more, and we're gonna have an ID of cat and add cat. And we're gonna have an ID of snake and add, our title is gonna be add snake. Great. Now, the last thing we're gonna need here, let's actually just bring this up to our top here. And then below this, we're gonna come and we're gonna have our script tag. And that is gonna say what? That is gonna be src, and that's gonna be equal to index.js. So that's going to be bring in our index.js file and our JavaScript there. Okay, and that is all we are going to need for our index.html. Now, if we come over here to our web page and refresh, do we see anything? We got our buttons down here. I don't know if that's hard to see. Our buttons down here, image classifier, and then our video will eventually be showing somewhere else. We'll see. Okay, so let's come back here. We can get rid of this. We can go out our index.html, and you can see it's got a completely blank file here. All right, so we just have our blank index.js here. And the first thing we want to do is to create a variable called const, and we're going to call it classifier. And that is going to be equal to, we're going to go knn classifier. And knn is k nearest neighbors, which is an algorithm. So we're going to go knn classifier.create, and below that we're going to go const, and we're going to go webcam element, and that's going to be document dot what, we'll go get element by ID, and that's going to be webcam because we have the webcam ID in our index.html. We're going to go let net, and that's going to be our variable we're creating right there. And this is where we're going to do all our work. So we're going to create a function. So it'll be async. So we'll go async function, and that's going to be called our app. And inside this function, we're going to start by console.logging, and we're just going to say loading mobile net. And then below here, we want to actually load the model. So we created that variable net up top, and we're going to go net equals await. So we're awaiting it, and we're going mobile net.load and calling that. So we'll load it there, and then we'll console.log, and we'll say loaded model. Okay, great. Now let's come down a little bit more, and we are going to create a variable here, and we're going to call it const webcam, and that is equal to await tf, which stands for TensorFlow.data.webcam, just only one of them, and we're going to go webcam element. Great, and then this is where we're going to read the image from the webcam and associate it with a specific class right here. So we're going to come give ourselves a tiny bit more room here, and let's come up here, and we are going to go const, and we're going to add an example, and that's going to be equal to async, and we're going to come in here and say class ID. Good, and open up our brackets there, and we're going to go const img, and that's equal to await, and that's going to be the webcam.capture, and we're going to call that. So that function is going to capture our webcam input, and then we're going to go const activation, and that is equal to net.infer, and we're going to pass in a couple things to this, which is our img, which we just created the variable for, img, and then the second thing we're going to have is true. So that will create our activation function, and then we're going to go classifier dot add example, and we are going to say activation and the class ID. So this classifier.addExample is going to pass in our activation, which we created here with our image, which was captured rather from our webcam. So hopefully that's not too hard to understand. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to go img.dispose and call that. Okay, so that is all good. now we're going to go ahead and get the action we click our button and get that example class. So let's come below this, come down here, and we're gonna go document.getElementById, and we're gonna pass in, this is the first one, so this is dog, which we created, we created the buttons rather. And then we're gonna go .addEventListener, and on this, we're gonna add a click event, lowercase click. And then we're gonna have a function here. So an arrow function, and we're gonna say add example. And the example we wanna add is gonna be the 0th. And then we can come down here and copy this down. And we can do the same for both cat, and same thing, except for when we pass in the first. And then we can do the same thing again, but this time for snake. And then, yeah, same thing, and 2. Okay, so that is good. We can go ahead and save that and come down below this. Now, we're gonna run a loop here. So we're gonna have a while loop, and we are gonna start by going while. And we're gonna say, so while true, so we're running a recursive loop here. If the classifier dot get num, get the number of the classes, and call that. So when that is greater than 0, we are going to go const img, and that is going to await webcam.capture. And then we're going to come down here, and down below this, we want to get the activation from the MobileNet from the webcam. So this is where we're going to go const activation equals, not await, sorry, is equal to net.infer. And that is going to infer the image, and sorry, in there, pass in the first thing we're going to pass in is the image, and the second thing is going to be called compreds. Okay, then let's come down below that. We're going to go const result, and that is equal to await, and that's going to be classifier dot, and this is going to be predict class, and we're going to pass in the activation. Okay, great. Come down below that, const classes, and that's equal to, now the different classes we have, the first one's going to be dog, second one is going to be cat, and the last one is going to be snake. Cool. Different classes, and then we're gonna go document.getElementById, and we're gonna go console, lowercase console, and then we're gonna go inner text, and we are going to go equals to, and we're gonna have some backticks here, so open up some backticks. Give ourselves some room here, and we're gonna go sorry, spelled that wrong. Prediction, and let's put our variables in here. So classes, and we're gonna go results.label, and then come over here, and we're gonna have a new line. So \n, come down below here, and probability, sorry, terrible spell here. And we're gonna go results dot confidences, and then we're gonna go results dot label. Okay, I think that's everything there. So come down below here, below our backticks, And this is where we're gonna go img dot dispose, and that's a function on TensorFlow that we're going to call, and it's going to dispose the tensor, which will basically release the memory. Okay, so that's good. And then we're going to come down below that, and we'll go await again, and we'll go tf TensorFlow.next frame, which will get our next frame. And then very finally here, after all that typing, we're going to call our app. If I can spell app. App's a tough one, though. You gotta make sure you spell that one right. Okay, so let's save all this. Honestly, it will probably be a miracle if I didn't have many spelling errors during this. But that said, let's check it out and see if we can get this working. So we'll come over here and we'll refresh and give it a second. And give it a second. And nothing. Let's see where we're going wrong here. Unexpected token index.js at 15. Let's go check that out. There's no dot here. So come back here. We got an error here I should have seen before. So let's try this. That'll save all that. Let's come back over here, refresh. MobileNet is not defined. So we got another error. So let's come back over, and that is at JS9. Spelled that wrong. So that's our next error. Mobile is with an E there. Not mobile, but MobileNet. Now let's go and check this out again. I told you, there's going to be a lot of errors when I'm typing. Okay, so that took a minute to load, but we're basically, it's asking us to use our cam. So we're going to say allow to that. And let's get rid of this. All right, so it looks like we had a little issue with our HTML. So just to be sure, if you're having trouble, I'll go ahead and just copy paste the HTML in here from either the docs or from my GitHub, which I'll link obviously below. All right, so let's go and check this out. We gotta train some animals here. Okay, so we're coming over here. We loading our model in, refresh the page, and it's gonna ask to use our camera. So we'll say allow, and there we are. All good. So how we're gonna go about this is we're gonna have some pictures here. I got some on my phone, and we are going to load them up and show the webcam in order to train our model. So I might fast forward through some of this, but I'll show you how it works the first time. So we're gonna hold this up to the webcam, wherever that is. And at the same time, we're gonna say add dog. So that's how we do that. So then we're gonna get our next animal, hold it up to the webcam. Can't see when I don't do this at the same time, which is very incompetent. Okay, and we're gonna say add cat. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the snake. If I go this way, yeah, it's better. And hold it up to the webcam. And we'll go add snake. Okay, and then I'm gonna train a few more maybe. And all right, so train a couple more there. And now let's go ahead and see if it can tell. It's saying I'm a cat, which is not accurate, but it's all it's got. So let's see. I'm gonna hold the dog one up and see if it can picture this. Let's see. So it's saying dog. That's pretty good. Not that sure about it, which probably because we haven't trained it very much. Okay, let's go. What else we got? We have the cat. Let's see. Oh, it likes the cat. It's 100% sure on the cat. Boom. And now let's go to the snake. Snake, 100% probability. That is That's honestly pretty impressive. Now, again, this is all in the browser. So if I were to refresh, this is gonna get erased, as we can see when I do this. And it's gonna ask me for to use webcam again. But that's kind of neat. And it's not an in-depth tutorial in machine learning or TensorFlow or any of the above, but kind of shows you that you can use some of these technologies even without having to know the ins and outs of them. So I think that is helpful and could be fun to build your own little projects. So anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button. And otherwise, yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.